In today's video, we're going to discuss some of the latest NHL trade rumors, including teams like the Edmonton Oilers, the Florida Panthers, and the Los Angeles Kings. Plus, we're going to discuss an update here on William Nylander's situation. Are the Leafs any closer to signing him, or could they possibly be looking at a trade? We'll discuss all that coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top, I wanted to discuss the latest on William Nylander. Plus we have the latest NHL trade rumors here on some other teams as well, like the Oilers, Panthers, and Kings. So let's jump right in here to the rumors. We'll touch base here on William Nylander momentarily. It was reported this weekend here on Saturday Headlines on Hockey Night in Canada that the Edmonton Oilers have granted forward Zack Kassian and his agent permission to seek out their own trade to get him a fresh start on another club. Now, it's also been reported that GM Peter Chiarelli had been trying to trade him on his own and hasn't been successful in finding himself a trade. Now, right now, Zack Kassian still under contract for this year and next, making over $1.9 million. So I think many other teams have kind of looked at it as making too much, and they probably don't like the contract involved here. So if the Oilers are able to find a deal, I would imagine they more than likely either have to take back another contract that other team's not happy with, or perhaps look at doing like a salary retention here of some kind. Now, Kassian has been getting a little bit more playing time here the last couple games and actually has gotten on the score sheet a little bit and has been looking a little bit better. So there's no guarantee here that he gets moved, but apparently he's expressed interest to the Oilers about wanting a fresh start and getting some more playing time. And the Oilers have granted him and his agent permission to kind of do some work on their own here to see if they can find a fit with another NHL club after GM Peter Chiarelli has not been successful to accommodate his request. So we very well might be seeing the end of Zack Kassian's term here with the Edmonton Oilers sometime soon. We could possibly see them placing him on waivers. I'd be highly doubtful he'd be picked up, though, mainly due to his contract. I think it'd be more likely to happen in a trade, like I said, so they can either take a contract back or possibly consider retaining part of that salary to help the other club out to take him off their hands. Now, the Florida Panthers here, could they possibly go shopping for a goaltender? As we know, Roberto Luongo is out injured, and the tandem of James Reimer and Michael Hutchinson has not been doing very well. Now, they signed Hutchinson as a free agent here this past summer. Hutchinson formerly came from the Winnipeg Jets organization. He was let go as a free agent due to the emergence of Connor Hellebuyck and lack of opportunity there in Winnipeg. He does have some NHL experience. Has been solid too at the AHL level, so it was a pretty good signing, or at least looked to be, by the Florida Panthers in the offseason because of Luongo's age and history here of injuries lately. They've seemed to want to carry a third NHL quality goaltender, which is certainly wise. But Hutchinson so far has not worked out. So there has been some speculation here that the Florida Panthers might actually be looking to obtain another goaltender. So who could that possibly be? I mean, if you take a look around the league, there could be some goalies become available like a Calvin Pickard or a Curtis McElhinney. As we know, the two former Toronto Maple Leaf goaltenders are with the Flyers and Hurricanes respectively, and both those clubs are going to end up carrying here 3 goaltenders. So both those guys could become disposable, may end up back on the waiver wire or end up in a trade here. So they're certainly guys to look at. McElhinney's done fairly well in Carolina. Pickard, on the other hand, with the Flyers, has struggled mightily. So certainly not something that they might want to take a look at. Pickard, again, does have some success in the past, but like Hutchinson, I'm not sure that's really a road the Florida Panthers really want to go down. But it is being reported that the Panthers are considering finding another goaltender here to help back up James Reimer while Luongo is injured, as Hutchinson just isn't getting the job done. Now, another team to keep your eye on is the LA Kings. We've talked about the possibility of them maybe looking at a coaching change, but I do think before that happens that General Manager Rob Blake might look to shake things up a little bit with the roster. And I think he's already been kind of looking into some trades, but not really seeing much out there that he likes. But it's being reported that some defensemen and forwards that he would consider moving would be guys like Alec Martinez, maybe Jake Muzzin, or even a Tanner Pearson. Pearson's kind of hasn't the greatest year as well, and they may very well be looking to move one of those D. The LA Kings obviously need to work on getting younger, faster, and more skilled, and that is not going to be an easy task, but those are reportedly players that they're willing to move in a trade should they find the right fit out there. Now, the next guy we're going to talk about is William Nylander. There's been some suggestion that the Kings should look to Toronto to see if we can work out a trade. Obviously Nylander probably would fit well and would certainly help what they're looking to do. Not sure there is a fit there, but certainly something I'm sure Rob Blake, as well as many other GMs around the league, should certainly consider taking a look at. Now, there was one article written by Steve Simmons and out of Toronto indicating that if the Leafs were to trade William Nylander, that the LA Kings should look into this and maybe they could work on bringing Drew Doughty back in a trade, which really we know isn't going to happen. Now, Simmons does acknowledge in the article that what he's expressing likely isn't going to happen. It's kind of far-fetched. But to put that in print form and make such a suggestion, I think was kind of silly. I will link the article down below in the description if you want to take a look at it, but it does indicate that maybe a package of Nylander and Gardner going to the Kings might be able to lure Drew Doughty to come to Toronto, which I highly doubt. I mean, Drew Doughty obviously has control of the situation with his no-trade clause. LA just locked him up on an 8-year extension. Anyways, it seems kind of ludicrous, but I'll put it in the description if you want to have a read-through. So the latest that I'm going to talk about here, William Nylander, really doesn't include any potential trades landing the Leafs Drew Doughty. Here is the latest, though, from what we can gather on the William Nylander situation with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, Darren Dreger of TSN has indicated that it looks as though they're still quite far apart on talks and they're really no closer to landing a contract. After we saw some back-to-back meetings there between Louis Gross and Kyle Dubas, it was being reported they were getting closer, having some good talks, things were moving forward. We've seen all kinds of different rumors and speculation about what deals were being discussed. We saw terms of a 6-year deal, maybe it was a bridge deal, 3 to 4 years. All kinds of things floating around out there, which at this point, none of it really seems to be true. We can gather that it did have some good talks, or at least we think they did. But at the same time, you got to look at the traveling Kyle Dubas here. He's been making his rounds to all kinds of NHL arenas. And I know that there's lots of Leaf people out there indicating that this doesn't really mean anything. We've seen Bob McKenzie indicate as well, may not mean anything. I get all that, but at the same time, we've seen other NHL people acknowledge the fact that it's not a guarantee that it means anything, but it is very unusual for a GM in October to be traveling so much to so many different arenas, taking in so many different teams and games. So you can't help but wonder if there are some trade chatter going on and that the Leafs maybe are kind of already weighing out their trade options for Nylander should talks not get any better here on a new contract. Now, I've seen many NHL insiders indicate that they feel if the Leafs go down this road, that the team to kind of keep your eye on here is the Carolina Hurricanes. They appear to be front and center of the team that's most interested in landing William Nylander. They do have some interesting pieces I think that the Leafs would like, especially a right-shot defenseman. That could be maybe Justin Falk or Brett Pesce. They have some other younger assets as well that might be intriguing to that team as well. And you could probably make an argument too that the Hurricanes would be a good landing spot for Nylander should he move from Toronto as well, considering all the young talent that they're developing there as well. But either way, there's really no further update on a contract. They do seem to be still quite far apart, according to Darren Dreger. So we're not really getting any closer to a solution on a contract. And with Kyle Dubas traveling the way he is, personally, I do think he is weighing up more options, and really that's his job as a general manager. He has to have everything on the table here. Now, I'd still think that his preference is to not trade him because it kind of goes against a lot of things he said after they signed John Tavares. This is his first major contract he's working on with this team, at least internally, after bringing John Tavares in. After saying, we can and we will, a lot of people will probably look at it as a failure if he's unable to sign him and they end up trading him. But reality is that some of these things are part of this negotiation process that he might not have been able to predict. And at the same time, I'm not really sure that it should be looked upon as a failure if they do end up trading him, if he brings back some great pieces to help this team in other ways. So that's the latest information we have on the William Nylander situation. So I guess we're kind of still on Nylander watch here. So we're really, like I said, no closer to having a solution on this deal right now for a contract, but lots of speculation on trades out there since Dubas continues to travel quite a bit here, watching a lot of other NHL clubs. So as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on everything we discussed in today's video, and we can continue the conversation down below in the comment section. Now, if you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.